Yeah, Rita, that's a very interesting story. Do you know one thing I've also learned from what you said is that it affected a lot of us. Most parents are always very skeptical discussing the issue of sex and sex education with their words. So, and I think as storytellers, I hope you are going to put that into perspective. I'm expecting you to turn that story to a script.
I'm actually writing good.
Better, good. So, do not let us probably jump the gun first. We have a lot to see, guys. So, Adeni or Malade, you've been raising up your hand, so let us hear. Please make it fast. Please. Good morning. And please, hello, hold on, please. Please, going forward, tell us where you are listening or watching from. Please, Adeni, where are you listening and watching from? Lagos. Where in Lagos? Lekki. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, there's this thing in Nigeria, it's called
Baby factories.
I want to, highlight a situation where people, like they gather groups of women and then they make them give birth to babies for an organization or like, all these like one organizations on like to give them agents and things like that. So there always a story with a woman trying to run away with her baby because she already made that connection. But the organization owner obviously is not in agreement with that and ends up killing her.
Wow.
And that baby becomes one of the like heads of the organization. And then he finds out about all the dirty little secrets that the organization head has been hiding from him. And he decides to take revenge. But when he's taking revenge, he ends up finding that his closest friend is the organization owner.
Wow.
And he has been spying on them for a long period of time and telling the organization owner all the plans he has. And in the middle of that scuffle and everything, the operation that they're going for goes wrong.
Wow.
And he ends up losing somebody that is kind of like his brother.
That's a very deep story.
That things begin to unfold. But I chose not to give him a happy ending because
Wow.
the reality of things is that you will not be able to be successful.
I want to disagree, but I'm not even going there. Now, the fact of the matter remains, I love that story. And we've not told much of surrogacy story, baby factory story. And I think you are going to work more on that. Huh? Better. So, as we go along. I have not heard some men speaking. Where are the men? Where are the males in our midst? Can you please raise up your hand? Because since we have more females. Any male in the house? Oh, yeah, okay. Let us hear a male perspective story. Go ahead. Okay. Miracle from where, please? Nasarawa State. Akwanga. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
My story is about a young guy
Okay.
who has a happy family.
Okay.
Do not know Christ, like much about Christ.
Okay.
But then like during the before he reached out like 18, he found Christ through his friend. And since when he found Christ, he lost everything.
Wow.
Like his dad, his mom became very ill. His sister, like they can't afford her fees. And then in the quest of finding answers, his friend linked him up to the cult group,
Hmm.
like leading to another way to find answer.
Yeah.
Since God cannot give you this, then try another way so
To
that you can.
seeking answers to some of life's demanding questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And in the process, he lost his
Wow.
joined and then became like a gang member, which ended up like destroying his life.
What it? Don't worry. By the time you finish these 2 online training, you will definitely finish that story. A very wonderful thank you to Compassion, Rita, and the rest who has called. Don't worry, I will still give others time to talk because we need to move ahead. Do you agree with me that every one of you carry a story that the world needs to see and hear? You agree with me? So, and we will be expecting that you are going to tell that stories. Huh? Okay, so let's go ahead. So you've told the story, and so let's go. Let us now go a bit theoretical. What is storytelling? What is storytelling? Storytelling is simply the art of conveying a message, an idea, experience through a structured narrative that captures, I will repeat again, storytelling is still the art of conveying a message, idea, experience through a structured narrative that captures attention, evokes emotion, and leads to a meaning or transformation. So in essence, it means every message, idea, or experience you tell or share through a structured narrative must capture 3 things. It must capture attention, it must evoke emotion, and it must lead to a meaning or transformation. So every story we tell in this world, it must evoke emotion. Every story we tell must also have a meaning, and such meaning must lead to a transformation. Any question? Because it seems I will try and give you the definition again. Any questions so far from what I've said? Saying that every story you tell must grab attention, must evoke emotion, and must have a meaning and lead to a transformation. Question, please? Or should I redictate that?
No, I do have a question.
Okay.
When you talked about leading to transformation,
Yeah.
does it mean that the story you tell must necessarily bring a change, like a good change?
Yes.
A good change.
Yes.
That it should have a good change.
Yes. Now, let me also advance a bit. For advanced people that I teach script writing, I do tell them that every script you write must perform 3 functions. Must inform, entertain, and educate. Must inform, entertain, and educate. So every story you are going to tell must perform any one of those 3 functions. Based on the definition of storytelling, I tell you, your story must grab attention, evoke emotion, or bring about meaning or transformation. So, hope I've not confused you there.
No, I'm not confused. Like what I was saying was in the terms of when you talked about transformation.
Okay.
Like just like how I don't know the person that told about the baby factory story.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes.
Look like when she said she chose not to give the person a happy ending.
Okay.
I felt like a story was not necessarily
Have it happier.
a good yes, exactly.
But it must educate. It must evoke emotion.
Yes, a story must evoke emotion, educate, inform you, but to just so that the story can be realistic.
The transformation, hold on. The transformation can come from the not having a happy ending. For example, maybe the lady died. Anybody wants to go into a baby factory can have that fear that, oh, if I'm doing surrogacy or doing this, I might die. So there must be a meaning to a story, and then it must lead to what? A transformation. Okay. Any other question? Okay, Alozie, you want to go ahead? Where are you calling from, please? Where are you listening to us from?
Yes, my name is Alozie Esiwa.
Okay.
calling from Abuja.
Abuja. Where in Abuja? Where are you listening? Where in Abuja actually?
Hello?
I said, where in Abuja, Aloze?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very clear, Aloze.
Alright. So, just like the definition you gave, I hope and believe that a storyteller must have his objective in mind, his or her objective in mind, what he wants his or her story to achieve at the end of the day. The
You're correct.
explanation you gave in the aspect of transformation, yes, the transformation can come in a happy way.
Okay.
It can also come in a way of giving.
Okay. Hello, Aloze? I think your mic is off. Hello, Aloze? Okay, go ahead now. Go ahead now. Hello, go ahead now, Aloze.
We can hear you.
Alright, I don't know if you heard the last line. I said the story, transformation aspect of the story can come in a hard way. It can also come in a soft way.
Of course, definitely.
Carry on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I think it's having network issues. So let us just go ahead. Let us just go. Hello? Can you all listen to me, please? Let us go ahead because we have a lot to cover. Please.
I'm done with the contribution I wanted to make.
Okay, good.
Mr. Adebayo is still here.
Yes, I'm still there. So, for us to move faster, I will continue with the teaching, please. And that's why I say, come along with your writing equipment. Any question you have, there will be a segment and time for us to answer that question so we can move ahead. So, we are moving ahead after the definition of principle of storytelling. We want to test some of the characteristics of storytelling. Characteristics of storytelling. Storytelling helps shapes identity. Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. I say we are moving ahead. Any question you ask, you can just jot them down. And when we get the segment for question, I will let you in. So we are moving ahead now. What are the characteristics of storytelling? 1. Storytelling shapes identity. And I started earlier saying that a lot of you have stories to tell. Some of you cannot sleep in the night. It has shaped your identity. Some of you cannot look in the mirror in the night because of what you were told. So, storytelling shapes identity. 2. Storytelling shapes society. Storytelling shapes society. Number 3. Storytelling drives emotion and decision. Storytelling drives emotion and decision. And that's how we say your life and existence are shaped by stories. Are shaped by stories. While we are growing up, we are told that if you go to the university, you get your 2-1. You come with flying colors. You are going to probably get high-paying job. Is that true right now? But some of us still went to the university, study hard because of the story we were told. And that's why I say storytelling shapes identity, it shapes society, it drives emotions and decisions. A lot of us decide to be serious with our studies because of the stories we were told. So let's move ahead. We want to look at why are brands using storytelling. You agree with me that in today's contemporary world, in today's contemporary, brands and organizations are using storytelling to push their brands and products. They go beyond selling products. They want to sell experience. They want to sell a story. They want to sell emotions. And we can mention a lot. Let's take, for example, I want to use Picnic as an example. While we were growing up, Picnic used Kanu Nwako as a brand to tell us that if your children take Picnic, they are destined for greatness. And a lot of us bought into this brand, hook, line, and sinker, because we believe if you take picnic, you are destined for greatness. So most brands these days are now saying that, look, for you to get into the heart of consumers, you need storytelling to push your product, to push your service, and to push your brand. So brands are using storytelling as a way of pushing their brands to the minds of their customers and to connect with their audience. So we are moving ahead. So you might get a brand that might contact you to help them tell a story that connects their brands, that evokes emotion with the audience or with the customers in which they are serving. So let's move ahead. Please, you can write down your questions. When it's segment for questions, we'll let you ask your question. Now, what are the key components of storytelling? What are the key components of storytelling? Every story must have a character. A character. Someone the audience connects with. Every story must have a character. 2, every story must have a goal. And what do we mean by that? Something the character wants or needs or wants to achieve. One of the students told us about the objective of every storyteller. This is where goal comes in. Every character must want to achieve something. So, in your storytelling, there must be character. There must be a goal. Means your character must want something, must need something, or wants to achieve something. Number 3, every storytelling must have a conflict. And what do you mean by conflict? Obstacles or challenge in the way of the character. Obstacles or challenges in the way of the character. So number 4, resolution. How the story ends or character changes. Does the goal, the wants or needs the character is chasing, did it affect the character? Every conflict you raised in your story, there must be a resolution. Never leave your audience hanging. The last one, every story must have a theme. The message or truth behind the story. That's the lesson everybody you are telling that story wants to probably learn from. So that's the key components of storytelling. It must have a character. It must have a goal. There must be a conflict. There must be a resolution. For every conflict you create, you have to create a resolution. How did the story end? And for the whole story, what is the theme? What is the lesson the audience are going to learn from your story? Hope that sinks in. And you are listening to me very well? Okay. So let us move ahead. Okay, let us move ahead. Why storytelling matters? Why does storytelling matter? I think we've discussed all this. I will just write that. We say it creates emotional connection. It makes ideas memorable. It inspires action and change. And it's universal. Every culture tells a story. And while starting this class, I told you about the Hollywood American dream. Some of us grew up watching Hollywood movies and were sold the American dream, and we wanted to jackpot. So I want to tell you that jackpot has a background to the Hollywood narratives, which I will still ask you later for us to argue on later when it's time for. So storytelling matters because it creates emotional connection. It makes ideas memorable. It inspires action and change. Every story you tell must inspire action and change. It's universal because the language of stories, everybody understands stories. So, and every culture tells stories. So we're moving ahead. What is storytelling in film? And this is where a lot of you are now going to be more interested, because we've looked at the fundamentals of storytelling. Now we are now driving it home in terms of film, scripting for film, and all the rest. And what is storytelling for film? It is simply the art of using characters, plots, visuals, sound, and emotion to tell a compelling narrative on scene. I will repeat again. Storytelling for film is the art of using characters, plots, visuals, sounds, and emotions to tell a compelling narrative on screen. So are you getting me? And as I say, it is how filmmakers take an idea or story and turn it into an experience that moves, entertains, or transforms the audience, that makes the audience want to sit at the edge of their seat. So basically, the critical components of that definition is that every storytelling for film must have a character, must have a plot, there must be a visual, sound, and your character must evoke emotions to tell a compelling narrative on scene. That's what I mean by storytelling for film. The way you tell a story, probably via ordinary just chatting with somebody, is different from the way you craft out storytelling for film. And we'll go deep when we want to look at screenplay. So, I'll take that definition again for those of you jotting down. Storytelling for film is the art of using characters, plots, visuals, sound, and emotion to tell a compelling narrative on screen. It's how filmmakers take an idea, stories, and turn it into an experience that moves, entertain, or transform the audience, or even make the audience sit at the edge of their seat. I don't know, maybe you've watched some lovely movies that you'll be moving on at the comfort of your home, on your couch, left, right, center, because that film is evoking emotion in you. It's either entertaining you or you are sharing an experience. So that is storytelling for film. So let me move ahead. What are the principles of storytelling in filmmaking? Number one, you would have heard this very well. When you are writing stories for film, you show, you don't tell. That's the first principle. You show, you don't tell. What do we mean by that? Let the audience experience the story through actions, visuals, and dialogues, not explanations. When we write stories, most of the script stories, the man is angry. It is scripted. But how does the audience know that the man is angry? By the emotion the character is going to depict visually on the scene. So that's a show, don't tell. And how do you make a man angry? Probably you say, and the man hits the table, looking angry. We must see that emotion. We must see that he's angry. I say, show, don't tell. The man is hungry. You are telling. But how do you now show that the man is angry? By hitting his fist on the table. Or the way he frowns and hits his fist on the table. If you capture that emotion very well, you are able to explain to the audience that the man is what? Angry. You are showing to the audience, and the audience can connect that actually this character the man is hungry. So we say in principle of storytelling for film, we say show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. So the next one is every story you're going to tell for film must have a conflict. And I tell people, conflict is the engine room of a story. Conflict is the engine room of a story. Without it, there's no movement or growth in your story. And when we go deep, you will understand. And what can be conflict? It can be the fear, doubt of a character, or probably external forces like rival, society, or the danger awaiting the character. When we go deep, you will understand all this. When we say every story needs conflict. What is a conflict? We will look deep that when we go into that. So we're only looking at the principles of storytelling for film. Number one, I say show, don't tell. Number two, every story you are going to write for film needs conflict. Number three, characters drive the story. Make your characters real. There's no superhuman being. Let us see the flaws in your character. Because I told you every story in the principle of storytelling earlier, I said every story must have what? A character. And when you are developing character for storytelling for film, we must see a real character. And then I say, make your characters real. Make them relatable. Let us see their flaws. Give them clear goals, motivations, and obstacles, so that audience can connect with them. I don't know, maybe some of you have watched some movies, and it will be as if the scriptwriter or the storyteller is telling your own story. How many of you have watched movies like that? Actually, this is me they're actually talking about. So, it means the character is driving the story, and they are relating with you. So, characters drive the story. Make your characters real, flawed, and what? Relatable. Number four, structure is everything. Structure your story. Your story must have a beginning, must have a middle, and must have an end. We are going to probably deal with that later when we look at the three-act structure. The three-act structure. The beginning to the conflict confrontation stage and to the resolution stage. So take note. We'll deal with that later on how to structure your story or script in the three-act structure. So your story must have a structure. Number five, start with a hook. Now, there's a reason why I put this. It is always very difficult to get Nigerian audience to sit down and watch movies. I don't know, all of you have witnessed this, where you are watching a movie and some of the audience already knows the end of a movie from the beginning. You know, we have some critics in Nigeria that when they sit at the movie, how many of you, a lot of you, oh, we know where this film. And some people don't want to watch. And that's why as storytellers, you must start your script or your story with a hook. Grab attention. Let them want to sit and want to watch. What is happening? Why is this like this? So learn to start with a hook. For the first few paragraphs, let those who are even going to read your story I want to know what is happening. Don't let us be too predictable. So learn to start with a hook. After our theme, I don't need to say it here. Every story must have a message. And what's the message? The theme of the message. It must convey a meaning to the audience. Now, let me just divert a bit so that we will not just be theoretical. People are talking much about two of the big movies in theater. Who can tell me those of those two movies? And what? Good. Behind the scene and over. How many of you have watched those two movies? That's a yellow card. I should have brought my yellow card on set. Probably give you. Look, hello, let me challenge you. For you to become a better storyteller, a better scriptwriter too, you need to watch what others are doing. You need to know what is happening in the film industry. And most importantly, I've watched all those movies. And those two movies have a theme and meaning that resonates with family. I'm not selling their film because I'm not going to be paid anyway. But I need to let you know that every script, every story must have a message. And both stories, both film has a message. So please, I'm advising you professionally to become a better storyteller. You need to watch what others say. Let me challenge you. You can even get a story from a story. Do you agree with that? So please, I want to challenge you. After this, go to the theaters, go to streaming platforms and watch Have a Team. It must have a deeper message. And both movies I told you about now, Behind the Scene and Over Sabianti, has a message that resonates with family. And that's why you see people talking about it left, right, center. So let's go ahead. Emotion is everything when you write a script. Storytelling, script writing must evoke emotion because people remember emotion. Okay, let us go back. I first watched Titanic 1998, and one of the things I still remember is why did Jack have to die? Why can't both of them stay on the raft? Those emotions played in my head. Then I was still a bit, I will not say I'm young anyway, but I cried. So how many of you, I know you Gen Z will not cry with that scene now. So how many of you cry watching Jack died inside the water while Rose stayed in the raft? You did. Did you cry? Why? Eh? Why? Okay, let us say you did not cry for Rose and Jack. What of the others? Those elder people that died when the ship wanted to sink?
As of then, maybe because I watched it when I was young.
Okay.
I think around
I
12, 13 years.
understand.
So,
I don't understand. So who else has watched the movie and I've cried before?
I cried a lot.
I think
I
when
have.
Let us be orderly. Who wants to talk, please? Just one person at a time.
I think the last movie I watched, it was not a Nigerian movie actually.
Okay.
It was, I think it was a medical K-drama movie where the daughter of the only daughter died. So I think for someone who has already lost her mother, I think I kind of resonated with that experience. So when I was watching that particular scene, when I was watching
emotions
that
was evoked
scene,
in that scene. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Who else want to say something?
I can totally relate.
Hello,
Yeah, I can totally relate. Like I watched this. Okay, I'm Davidson.
Where are you listening to us from?
Port Harcourt.
I'm listening from Enugu.
Okay, I'm from Enugu. Okay, Mr. Davidson, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, I could resonate with the particular movie, Breath of Life.
Wow.
When they burnt
wife. That's
they
the one
burnt
from
his
the pastor.
child and his
okay.
Yes, they bond them together. I could feel his emotion when he's like his conscience died.
Okay,
and he went to kill baby fire.
Good. It touched you. Miracle from Nasarawa. Let's hear you, Mr. Miracle. Miracle, are you online?
Yes, I'm online.
Okay,
sir.
so which production have you watched and has evoked emotion in you?
I watched this Funke Akindele's movie.
Which of the movie?
A Tribe Called
A
Judah.
Tribe Called Judah. Okay.
A Tribe Called Judah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
At
emotional.
what time
It's
did
seeing the
was your emotion stirred up?
I think from where the mom was sick,
Sick.
and they have to look for a means to treat her,
Ta.
and then the elder brother being shot when they went for
Okay.
that
You
they
could
went for
relate
their
with that.
patrol. They went to steal. Yes, sir.
Okay. No. And you could see that all what I've been trying to tell you since morning is that when you write stories, it must evoke emotion. Your audience must be able to relate with it. Now, so let us go ahead. Emotion is everything in scripting. So let us go ahead, please. Sunday Odi, okay, let us just hear Sunday Odi, please. Sunday, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Sunday from Benue State.
From where?
From Benue State, but currently in
Benue
Abuja, sir.
State. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, so one of the movies that got me emotional is this Breath of Life.
Okay.
I felt a surge of emotion at the
Okay.
end of the movie
Okay.
when at the end of the day everything just made sense because
Go ahead, go ahead. I think we lost him. So let us just go ahead, because we have a lot to still cover. So emotion is everything. When you script, you have to learn to steer your audience emotion. And that's why I say let your story be relatable. Most of your emotions were stirred because the story being told, you could relate with it. Is that clear? So let us go ahead. Simplicity wins. When you write stories, make your story as simple. Don't make it as complex. Most of us want to write complex stories, and on the long run, we lose the essence and theme of a story. Simplicity wins in storytelling. Number 9, authenticity connects. Speak the truth. Use real experiences. Like we're talking about filmmakers, A Tribe Called Judah. A lot of us could relate with it. Breath of Life. A lot of us relate with it. So let authenticity wins also when you write your story. And end with purpose. Your story must have a purpose. It must give us a theme. There must be a meaning. What are you trying to drive home with this story? So end with a purpose. End with a purpose. So we are moving ahead. We are moving ahead because we have a lot to cover in these 2 days. So we're looking at film genre, because most of the time, most of us are just write stories. We don't know how to classify the genre. So we want to look at film genre. And what are film genres?
Sorry, sir.
Hello?
Sorry, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Please.
Hold on. Alozie, please write down your question.
You said,
Write down your question.
no, I mean the topic you wanted to
We are looking at film
delve
genre now.
into.
G-E-N-R-E is a French word. Genre.
Okay. G-E-N,
N-R-E.
okay, all right. Got
G-E-N-R-A.
it.
Film genre. What is a film genre? Any of you who has a question, please write down your question, please. There will be time for us to answer all questions what we've covered today. Is that clear? Okay, let's go ahead. So what's a film genre? A film genre is a category that defines a movie by style. A film genre is a category that defines a movie by style, tone, themes, and storytelling techniques. It helps audience knows what kind of experience to expect. It guides filmmakers on the structures and emotional beats of their story. Let me explain in simple terms. you start a film with somebody using a knife to run after somebody, and after stabbing the person, you see blood coming out of the person that stabbed mouth as ha, and he start laughing. What sort of genre is that film?
It's a thriller.
It can be a thriller. It can also be an horror movie. Now, the whole essence.
It can also be a crime movie.
It can also be a crime movie.
It could be suspense.
It can also be suspense. But it is film genre that helps the audience know, oh, what am I expecting? Is it suspense? Is it horror? And all the rest. And as I say, a film genre is a category that defines a movie by style, tone, theme, and storytelling techniques. It helps audiences to know what kind of experience to expect, and it guides filmmakers on the structure and emotional beats of their story. We simply put that genre is the flavor of your film. Is your film orange? Is your film pink? Is your film drama? Is your film horror? Is your film suspense? Is your film epic? And I'm going to ask a question later in this film genre, which you are going to argue when it's time for question time. So let's go ahead. So we want to look at probably like 10 types of film genres. So you can decide to write your stories and pick one of those film style genres to key your story into. Number 1, romance. A lot of us like romance. It focuses on love, relationship, heartbreaks, breakfast, in quote, and emotional bonds. So how many of us love romance?
I don't.
Amara, you are very, even the way you answer the question. Okay, let us go ahead. If you are not writing for romance, comedy. It aims to make the audience laugh through humorous characters and situations. So how many of us love comedy?
I do.
Me,
I love it. I do.
Huh?
I don't find it funny.
Some comedic
Amara,
movies are always
you are going to be
exaggerated.
difficult to really impress. So
Character.
you don't love romance.
I don't.
Romance, you don't love comedy. Okay, maybe you'll be the horror type.
I don't.
So number 3, we look at action as a genre.
Yes.
This features a physical conflict, fast-paced scenes, fight.
A thriller and crime movie type.
Okay, please let us meet ourselves. Please let us meet ourselves. Action, it involves physical fight, fast-paced scenes, chases, and danger. When most of us were growing up, we don't like drama, we don't like romance. What we like those days were action movies. We want to watch Kung Fu. We want to watch Shaolin Temple. We just want to see them fight, even when we don't know the gist of their fight. The only thing we used to know those days, on a lighter note, was that somebody is trying to revenge the death of his master. And some of us still grew up with that mentality. So you can watch, you can write for action. Thriller, it builds tension and keeps the audience on edge. So you can write horror, that is designed to scare or unsettle the audience. Often involves supernatural or psychological fear. You can do drama, which is serious emotional storytelling. Focus on real life struggles and character development. You can do crime, revolves around criminals, law enforcement, and justice system. The essence of focusing at these film genres is for you to know where you want to channel your storytelling into, because you must pick a genre. You can also do documentary. This is non-fiction storytelling that educates or reveals truth using real events and people. You can do adventure. You can do historical. You can do faith-based inspirational movie. You can do fantasy or science fiction movie. Let me ask this question: does Nigeria do science fiction movie? Or fantasy? Let's say fantasy and science fiction movie. I mean,
Sometimes.
But you know, it is a lot of Nigerians are doing fantasy and science fiction movies.
Yes.
Have you watched Mikolo?
Like Adebayo Salami.
No. Have you watched Mikolo? From the Yakimalan studio? Auntie studio?
No, the one.
Yes,
the
sir.
one I'm
Mikolo. That is fantasy and science fiction. And a lot of AI
What about
movies
the
are
one
coming in 2026. In 2026. Okay. So let us go ahead.
Sir, do
go
you
ahead.
think
Just a-
that movies that
Who is
highlight,
speaking?
like, do you think that movies that highlight
Adeni. Okay. Go ahead.
Omalade Adeni? Yeah. Do you think movies that highlight like use of juju and stuff like that, do you think they qualify under fantasy?
It's a very, very tough question. To me, I don't see it as fantasy. I see it as more or less drama. It depends on what you believe. I see it as drama. Because in our society, in Western world, when they see us use juju, they believe it is fantasy. Omalade, can you listen to me? Hello, Omalade.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The whole network is gone. Okay, we're back. Hello, Omalade. Omalade, are you listening to me?
I can hear you, sir.
I said now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Use of juju within the Nigerian context is drama, because we see these things happen in our society. True of us.
True.
But in developed world, they will see it as what?
fantasy.
Exactly. You see, that's it. Now depends on the perspective. In reality, things we do here that looks natural, that you relate to, that you see your day to day, in contemporary developed nations, it is seen as fantasy. And things that are real there, when we bring it down here, it becomes fantasy to us. That's just, it depends on perspective. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good. So let us go ahead. Now, as
Sir, I have a
storytellers, write down your question, Mr. Sunday. Write down your question, please. There will be time to ask questions because we need to move faster. So, I've read that 12 different film genres that you can probably classify your stories on. It depends on you. But one of the essence, we'll not just only teach you how to write these things, we'll also follow up with you. So let us move forward.
They are on YouTube, they are in different places. So you don't need to look at them, don't look at the camera. So when they ask question, you can recap the question again. Like recap the question, this thing from Google Meet, so that people for you to this one will look like say, no, you are not chatting with them, they are camera, they are
I also need to look their names, who they are talking.
Don't worry, if they ask question, maybe they ask
Then
and talk.
And we are.
This one are for you to hear what they are saying.
We they try, Abby.
I'm not hearing anything, no.
Oh, if they look like in a video call.
Same here. I think it's his next one.
So mute your speaker. We can't hear you again.
I think it's muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
So I said that we will not only teach you, we also mentor you to ensure that you become good storytellers and good scriptwriters for film. So it's a long journey we are on together. So start drafting your stories and know the type of genre you are going to concentrate more. So should we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let us look at please, any question you have, write it down. We will look at those questions. There will be time for us to ask all questions you want to ask, please. Now, we want to look at the difference between fictional work and non-fictional work, because you've been hearing this context for a long while. So, what are fictional works? Fictional work refers to stories that are created from the imagination of the storyteller. These works are not based on real life events. These works are not based on real life events. They are stories that are created from the imagination of the scriptwriters, of the storytellers. These works are not based on real life events, though they may be inspired by them, but they are not real life. Now, I want to ask, all of you have watched, can we say Avatar is a fictional work? Can we say Avatar is a fictional work?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, can we say Titanic is a fictional work?
No,
Yes and no.
No, it's not. It's partly.
It's partly. Okay. Let us go ahead now. By the time I define both, we'll now come back. Non-fictional work refers to stories or content that is based on real facts, real life events, people and truth. They are true to life stories. So we call them non-fictional work. So let me now ask you, can we say Titanic is non-fictional work or fictional work? If you know you want to answer
Non-fictional.
Non-fictional.
Non-fictional. How many of you agree it's non-fictional?
Because it happens in life.
How many of you agree
I
it's
think it's
non-fictional?
non-fictional.
Now, let me also explain this just to help out. At times, some stories can be fictional and non-fictional. Titanic falls in that category. Titanic is both fictional and non-fictional. Non-fictional because it was a true to life event. It happened, but some of the love stories and something that was probably imbibed in it was a fictional event. Do you explain that better? Now, let us come back home. Lateef Adedimeji produced Lisabi. Can we say Lisabi is non-fictional work? How many of you have watched Lisabi?
I have not.
Huh?
I haven't seen it.
It's both. It's non-fictional.
It's both, because I think that
It is non-fictional.
Lisabi is a mixture of fiction.
Lisabi is a non-fictional story.
Okay, I like the debate. Hello. Now, please silent. Please mute your mic, please. You can define it both ways. There have been critics who said Lisabi did not die that way. That there were a bit of fusion of fictional storytelling element in the non-fictional aspect of Lisabi. So we can argue that Lisabi was both non-fictional and fictional. But also others say no. That was the true representation of Lisabi. So for those people, they will argue that Lisabi is purely what? Non-fictional work. So it depends on the perspective at which the storyteller or those that are criticizing those movies are coming from. But to me, actually, I would classify both fictional and non-fictional. So the only film I could have called non-fictional to me was this film by Bolanle Austin Peters that talked about the Egba woman, Fela Mother. That was a purely non-fictional work. There was no mixture here and there. So you must know the difference between a fictional work and a non-fictional work. But you can also blend both. There can be a fusion of fiction work and non-fiction work together. So we now know the difference between what's a fictional work and a non-fictional work. So let us move ahead. Now, in storytelling, there are some certain elements, there are some certain things we must also know. And we want to look at them. First, who is a protagonist? We hear this a lot. Who is a protagonist? Who is a protagonist? Every of your story that has character, that has characters, I'm putting S now, must have a protagonist and an antagonist. And who is the protagonist? Is the main character of a story. The person the story is mostly about. The main character of a story, the person, the whole story is all about. In local parlance, we call them actors, the main actor. All of you can resonate with that. We call them the main actors. And a lot of people support them. So, in other words, who is an antagonist? It simply means the opposite of the protagonist. The person or force that opposes the protagonist. The person or force or elements that opposes what? The protagonist. In local parlance, we call them what? The boss. And when we were growing up, as people that love movies those days, we believe actors know they die. Do you agree?
Actors know they die.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But I've watched a lot of movies that
they die. Actors dies.
I've watched a lot of movies that actors actually died. Huh? We believe the boss is always a bad person. But most of the time, the protagonist is actually not a bad person. But in majority of the time, we agree that once we see somebody opposing the protagonist, he is the antagonist. So, not to even use bigger English, you know who the actor is and we know the boss is. The actor is the protagonist, and the boss is what? The antagonist. Is that clear? Exactly 12 o'clock, I will allow you ask your questions. So let us go ahead. So we've known some certain times now what are fictional works and non-fictional works. Is that clear? And we've also defined who a protagonist is and who an antagonist is. That's also clear. So let's move ahead. Now, I was telling you about the 3-act structure earlier, where I said every of your story, every of your script you write must, you can look at the board now, must follow the 3-act structure, which involves your setup. And your setup is actually your act 1. And what do we mean? I don't want to be too theoretical. I want to explain this. Being practical, using 1 or 2 stories. Okay, let us come up with this story. And I want to tell you this story so that you're able to write the story down. We'll use it as a practical experience to explain the 3-act structure, the main plot, the plot twist, and the subplot. Because you need to understand all these things for you to understand storytelling and script writing. Now, there is a man called Engineer Rufus. Engineer Rufus is married to Amaka. Please listen to this story very well. I'll use this story to teach a lot of things. This is the story of a man, Engineer Rufus. Engineer Rufus is married to Amaka. And they are blessed with 2 lovely children. Their family is lovely. At some point in their marriage, Engineer Rufus begins to suspect that Amaka is cheating on him and decides to go out of his way to actually prove that Amaka is cheating on him. Engineer Rufus has a friend. His name is Engineer Beatrice. Engineer Beatrice is married to Nkechi. Follow the story very well. Engineer Beatrice is married to Nkechi. So Engineer Rufus tells Engineer Beatrice every time, I don't trust my wife. I think he's cheating on me. And Engineer Beatrice will say, look, no, you've been married for 20 years. Amaka that I know cannot cheat on you. But Engineer Rufus is not confused. Anytime Engineer Beatrice gets home, he discusses this situation with his wife. I said, look, my friend, Engineer Rufus, who has been married to Amaka for 20 years, I don't like the way he's behaving. He says his wife is cheating on him. And he wants to catch the wife. Now, I want to stop on the track structure and quickly look at what's a main story plot, what's a subplot, and what's a plot twist? You've understood the story I've told you now. I want to break it down first. Before going back to the 3-act structure, I want us to look at I'm coming. I want us to look at what's a main story plot, what's a subplot, and what's a plot twist. With this few stories I've told you. Now, the story continues. We now see a scene where Engineer Rufus is in the office. We see another scene. We see a car parked in Engineer Rufus' house. And Engineer Beatrice steps down out of the car. Immediately we go back to Engineer Rufus in the office. And a phone rings. Engineer Rufus picks up the car. And we hear a voice from another end. Sir, the man who has been coming to see your wife when you were not at home is there now. You can start coming. Now, I want to ask you, if you are the audience, what will you be thinking? I need your answer on that.
I'll be thinking it's Engineer Brutus.
Engineer Beatrice, you very correct.
Yes, I think it's Beatrice that came.
Okay, Damiela, what will you be thinking as the audience?
I'll be thinking that it is it's Beatrice,
that is
Engineer
responsible,
Rufus's
good.
friend.
And you know how
Yes.
we evoke emotions here. People now start saying, friend, look at his friend. It is his friend that has been doing all this, have you? Now, let's go ahead. We now see Engineer Rufus leave his place of work, rushes to his compound. He sees Engineer Beatrice's car, put his hand on his head, and say, is this how friend is? So it is my friend that has been sleeping with my wife. At this stage also, what will the audience be feeling?
We'll be feeling his pain and the betrayal.
Feeling his emotion.
Betrayal. So, how many of you are with what Amara is saying?
I agree with what she said.
Okay, so a lot of the audience will now be saying, this is betrayal of the highest order. Good. We see Engineer Rufus tiptoe inside the parlor, nodding his head, already crying. Tiptoe up to the bedroom. And immediately, he opens the door of the bedroom. The bedroom will say, see you in part 2. That is familiar with all of us, Abby. But actually, there's no part 2. On opening the door of the bedroom, it was actually the gate man and not Engineer Beatrice.
Plot twist.
That's the plot twist. Good. Now, let me now break the whole story of what is a main story plot, what is a subplot, and what's a plot twist. The main story plot in this film is about Engineer Rufus suspecting his wife, Amaka, of cheating on him, and decides to go out of his way to prove that actually Amaka is cheating on him. That's the main story. What is the subplot? Subplot are stories that aids or conflict the main story plot. And what is the subplot? The subplot is Engineer Beatrice and the wife. They are just part of the story, but they are not the main story. They are either aiding the main story or conflicting with the main story plot. Are you getting me? Are you following, please?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
That's a subplot. Then what's the plot twist? The plot twist is the audience thinking that it is Engineer Beatrice betraying the friend, not knowing it was actually the gate man. So you must know how to write your main story, how your subplot can either aid or conflict your main story plot, and you must also learn to create plot twist. Plot twist makes storytelling interesting. It makes your audience connect with you. And I tell you, your audience must not predict you most of the time. Your audience must not predict you. Now, let us take it to practical. How many of you have watched A Tribe Called Judah?
I've watched it.
Okay, good. Who said that first?
Yeah.
Who said that first?
I watched it too.
Okay. Amara.
Yes.
Have you watched A Trap Called Judah?
No, I've not watched
Okay,
it.
who has watched it? Damilala?
I did.
Okay.
I've watched it,
I've
sir.
watched it.
Okay.
I watched it, sir.
Damilala? Hello,
Yes, sir,
Damilala.
I've watched
Others,
it.
mute. Damilala.
Yes, sir, I've watched it.
Can you tell me the plot twist in A Tribe Called Judah? Think very well. For you to become a storyteller, you must know what others are doing. So what's the plot twist in A Tribe Called Judah?
I think the plot twist was when
Have you somebody wants to
when we're trying to figure out.
Someone else wants to
Can I?
So I want to
He
say.
shifted from when he became from comedy and he became crime.
No,
when they went to go and
that
steal.
is not the plot twist.
Can I answer?
Okay, Boluwati said.
The plot twist actually happened when everybody suspected that.
Davidson, hold on.
I think the
Boluwati fair, go ahead.
Okay, so I think the plot twist was when they went to the furniture store to rob, and then they saw another robber. Like another robber came to that
A
same.
round of applause for her. That's the plot twist.
That's what I wanted to say.
That's what I wanted to say. You see?
Me too.
He forgot. Now, that was the plot.
We are all correct. We are all correct.
Yeah, okay. Everyone is correct. Everyone is correct.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Mr. Davidson, let us hear you. Mr. Davidson.
No, actually, it was exactly what she said, and that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. I think we're all correct anyway. So let us back. But now, with this little explanation, hope you've understood what a main story is, a subplot, and the plot twist.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But in this story,
Yes, sir.
I've also left you hanging. I was thinking somebody would ask me that question. I've created a conflict. Sir. What was the conflict I created?
Between Beatrice and the gatesman. What happened?
The question I was sending the audience or you to ask was, what was Engineer Beatrice's car doing there?
Doing there.
So I go back to the 3-act structure. Please, hope we are impacting so far because we like feedback.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Good. Now, let us go back to the 3-act structure. With this story of a film I've told you, it is always good to start with a setup. You know, we probably start with Act 1, where we see the family, a happy family, Engineer Rufus and the wife smiling, taking the kids on holiday. The cracks has not happened yet. And we see him and Engineer Beatrice friends. Oh, lovely family. When we get to scene 2, which is Act 2, we now start seeing cracks. We call that the midpoint of the big twist, or the confrontation or conflict state zone. Confrontation or conflict zone, where Engineer Rufus begins to doubt his wife. And how do we start that? We can start that probably Engineer Rufus is touching the lady, probably touching the wife in the bedroom, and I say, no, I'm tired, Joe. Can't you see I've gone to work since morning? And Engineer Rufus starts thinking somehow. That's the beginning of the confrontational midpoint zone, what we call the conflict zone, or the confrontation zone in the 3-act structure. And he now said, look, it speaks with his friend, I need to set up a modality, I think my wife is cheating on me, I need to catch her red-handed. And goes out of his way to do all those things. Now, the inciting incident, which is the midpoint, I'm still going to define this incident for you, that is when we see Engineer Beatrice's car there. That's the conflict. And we think it was Engineer Beatrice, but actually it was actually the gateman. That is our confrontation stage under Act 2 of the conflict stage. The Act 3, where we now resolve. Remember, I left you hanging, and I expected you to have asked, what was Engineer Beatrice's car doing in that compound? We now resolve. How do we resolve? We now see Engineer Rufus begging Engineer Beatrice not just to forgive him, that he, Engineer Beatrice said, no, I came to check a property at the back of your compound, and I parked at your compound because I don't want the area boys to. You can resolve that angle in so many ways. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can resolve such conflict in a different ways. Or probably, Engineer Beatrice can tell Engineer Rufus, oh, please, my car got spoiled and I was near your compound. I said to park it inside your compound. Just to resolve every conflict you create in a story. Don't leave your audience hanging. I watched one of the popular producers' movie. I don't want to mention his name because this is live, but it left majority of the audience hanging. There were questions from the audience. And I don't, if I mention the movie, you know, so I don't want to mention. So please, every storyteller should learn to resolve every conflict you create. Don't leave your audience hanging. Hope I've been able to explain the 3 action. How you set up, how you get to confrontation stage, and how you get to resolution. When you start writing your script, you need to put all this into perspective. Am I clear on that? I think we'll be allowed to start asking questions.
Yes,
We'll start, so write down the question you know you have, so we're able to deal with them. So we are moving ahead. I told you about inciting incident. What is inciting incident in storytelling or script writing? This is the moment in your story where everything changes. In the story I tell you, what is the inciting incident? Who can help out?
When Engineer Rufus started doubting his wife.
You close. That's
I think when he received that phone call.
When he received that phone call, when you see that phone call and he goes home, that is what changes a lot of everything. And when he gets home to find out to the gate man and not the truth. Hello, please. Mute your phone or mute your environment there because we're having some background noise. So inciting incident is the moment in your story or your script where everything changes. It's the event that disrupts the main character's normal life and sets the story in motion. Going back to A Tribe Called Judah, what was the inciting moment?
When the mother got sick.
Good, we can say a lot of inciting can happen this way, but to me, the inciting moment was
when
the mall manager joined in the robbery. That was inciting incident for me. So,
taking this thing back to the story you told us, Engineer Rufus, you know, you said inciting incidents is the event that disrupts the main character's normal life. What disrupted Engineer Rufus' married life was not when his life was not when he started thinking the wife is cheating. Was that not what set the story in motion?
Now, what actually changes the whole direction of the story?
No.
It was still assuming. But when
I really feel everything was an assumption up to a particular stage where he later got convinced when they called him that the car that has been parking in his frontage, now he has a conviction that somebody was actually coming to his house.
That's
when
the
he
one.
got home and found out that was
when he
actually
got the phone call.
That's the inciting there, where everything turns itself on its head.
Then who made the phone call?
That's another conflict you can resolve.
He actually made somebody do that.
Exactly. You cannot do a flashback to say, when it wasn't I was that, I had to now pay the PS man opposite my house to give me a collect time. This is a strange car. Are you getting me? So for every conflict you create, that's a very good question. You must come out with a resolution. So hope that is clear. So let us move
Yes.
ahead because there's still time for question. Now, it is important. Let me say this: by the grace of God, tomorrow, because of time factor, I don't know. Our time is fast spent. we spent over 2 hours. But by the grace of God, tomorrow we'll go to the practical aspect of script writing. Now, it is important you know what is a log line, how to write a log line, and how to write a synopsis. Why is a log line important? Because most of the time, as storytellers, we want to pitch our ideas to probably a financier, executive producer, your brother, your sister wants to fund you. You cannot start telling them all the stories. You need to give them a log line. And I tell people, a log line is a hook. And I define it as a 1 or 2 sentence summary of your story that captures the main character, the goal, the stakes, and the central conflict. But I'm going to redefine in a better way for you. If you want to write, you can write. A log line is simply defined as a summary, not more than 5 sentences. It can be lesser. Describing what your story is all about. Showing the protagonist, the antagonist, the goal, the settings, and probably the conflict. It's just a brief summary. At times, it can be 1 or 2 sentences. It can be 5 lines. I will give you a lot of examples. But what stands out your log line? It must show your protagonist. It must show your antagonist. By now, you should know that a character is made up of your protagonist and your antagonist. So your log line must show your protagonist, the antagonist. What are their goals? What is the setting? And what is the conflict? Now, let me define this for you first, or let me give you this dictation for a simple log line, and I will now break it down for you. A determined village boy goes out of his way to prove his love to a princess who is about to be betrothed to a rich man from Lagos with the help of his father, with the help of her father, I mean, the king. I'll take that again. A determined village boy goes out of his way to prove his love to a princess who is about to be betrothed to a rich man from Lagos with the help of her father, the king. Now, that's a log line. How many sentences? Not more than 3 or 4 lines. Now, what are the basic elements that must be present before say it's a log line? 1, it must have a protagonist.
The protagonist. We have the antagonist.
The antagonist, the goals.
Yeah, we already have a setting.
And the setting now, okay, hold on. Let us now break it down. In this simple log line I gave to you, who is the protagonist?
The village boy.
The village boy. Good. Who is the antagonist?
The father. The
father. No, is it the father?
Yes.
Very well.
He's the father. It has to be the father because he wouldn't allow. Because the man will not allow his daughter to actually
marry. Can be 2. In this case, it can be the rich guy from Lagos.
I think it's both the father and the rich guy.
Both the father and the rich guy. So what is the goal of both of them?
To win the heart of the princess.
For the protagonist, who is the village boy, is to prove his love to the princess. Yes. What of the rich man? Also to prove his love to the princess.
Yes.
What is the setting? Is it village or village and city setting?
Village and city setting.
I think that if you, Yes, I think that if you clearly look at the idea of antagonist and the protagonist, that the father is more of an antagonist to the boy than the rich man. My reasons are that um, the rich guy from Lagos probably doesn't have anything to do with the guy. He's looking for his goal. And what is his goal? I want to marry this girl. The guy too wants to marry this girl. But the father's goal is to make sure that the guy doesn't marry this girl because he wants the girl to be married to the rich
You are
guy.
very correct.
So the father could be a stronger antagonist to the boy than the
That is
rich.
why you now define it. But both of them, both the rich guy from Lagos and the father are antagonists. One can be more stronger
Yes.
antagonist, but they are both forces
Yeah.
standing in the way of what? The
Of
protagonist.
the guy. Yeah.
Now, the whole essence is for you to understand how to write a log line. And I'll be expecting most of your log lines, how you write log line, most of your how you write them into log line. Because most executive producers wants to see your log line first before they invest in any of your project. Even if you finish your script, you must learn to write a log line. And remember, it's a brief summary. It must capture your protagonist, your antagonist, the goals, the setting, and the conflict. And what's the conflict? Proving love to the princess. Is that clear? Now, let me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Most of us watch
Yes, sir.
DSTV and watch movies, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and other. And when we press our remote, that summary we see is called what?
A log line.
God bless
Log
you.
line.
But why are they
A
telling
log
us
line.
Log line.
A synopsis.
that is not a synopsis? That is
I
a
think
log line.
That's the same.
Now, what differentiates a log line from a synopsis?
I think a synopsis is longer than a log line.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I want to define now.
It's more detailed. Mm.
That's what I want to define now. A synopsis is also a brief summary, but this time it's a full page, not more than 500 words. Not more than 500 words. A full page. Now, you can now expand the log line, tell them about the subplots and all the rest. So, it is different from a log line. In a log line, you don't add the subplot. But in synopsis, you can expand because when you're expanding, you can tell us about the subplot. You now see the difference between a log line and a synopsis. So most of the time we use this English wrongly. You don't, have you seen the synopsis? No, you don't see the synopsis when you watch it on Netflix, on Prime, Amazon, on Showmax, or even on DSTV. They are log line, they are not synopsis. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
let
sir.
us move ahead. We are moving now because I'm looking
Sir,
at time
please,
for us to
I have a question.
write down the question, please. Please, so we're able to, we have a lot to still cover. Because we're still going to podcast, maybe that will start tomorrow. So just write down your question down. So, I've talked about main story plots. Now, these questions, we are going to answer it. It says, all screenplays are scripts, but not all scripts are screenplays. Now, we are going to answer that here. But the question you are going to help me answer at home, which is part of your take-home assignment, it simply says, all historicals are epic, but not all epic are historicals. Do you agree? That's the question. You are going to help me answer and bring to this platform tomorrow. I repeat, all historicals are epic, but not all epic are historicals. EPIC as epic, historicals as HISTORICALS. So I repeat again, all historicals are epic, but not all epic are historicals. Do you agree? So that's your take home. So you are going to discuss that. So tomorrow I will get 3 or 4, 5 views on that phrase. So we say all screenplays are scripts, But not all scripts are screenplays. So let us pieces that. Most of the time, a lot of us confuse script play for screen. No, they are different. All screenplays are scripts, but not all scripts are screenplay. And what do we mean by that? A script is a written document. Most of us has a story. A log line, a synopsis is a script. The small script you use in your church to act movie or to act a stage play is a script. It's not a screenplay. A screenplay is designed specifically for screen, for film. Your synopsis is not your screenplay, you know. It's just a statement. You can say it's a script, but it's not a screenplay. Your log line is a script, but it's not a screenplay. For a script to be a screenplay, there are some certain basic elements that must be present. Hope I communicated that very well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the basic elements?
Yes, sir.
That must be present in a script before we say it qualifies for a screenplay for screen? I hear this question most of the time. Sir, I have written a script for film, and when I see the script, it's just 2 or 3 pages. At times, I call it a synopsis or scene breakdown at the least, where someone says scene 1, Mr. A fights Mr. B. Scene 2, Mr. B fights. That's a script, not a screenplay. So you must learn the use of that word. Although interchangeably people have been, so can I see your film script? It is a film screenplay. It is when I see how you structured your script that I turn into a screenplay. And a screenplay is a type of script written specifically for visual storytelling, for movies or for film. And what are the elements that must be present there? For your level, we'll be looking at 5 basic elements. 5 basic elements. And number 1, your screenplay must have a scene heading or a slug line. Hey, don't get confused. There's a log line and a slug line. I say slug line. Number 1, it must have a scene heading or a slug line. SLUGLINE. And what's a scene heading or a slug line? It tends to actualize or describe where and when and at what time of the day the action or the scene is taking place. It tends to describe where, when, and at what time of the day, morning, afternoon, noon, dawn, dusk, the action is taking place. So that's the number 1 thing that must be present in your script for us to say it qualifies as a screenplay for film or for TV. Number 2 is your action or description line. Your action or description line. Your action or description line tends to describe the setting. For example, if you are shooting in Mr. Wale's office, you describe the office. How big is the office? What are the furnitures there? How many laptops can you see there? Do you have some backdrops? Do you have some frames? What are the lightings? What are these? It tends to describe the setting, action or decision line. So now, let me say this before I move on. It is important because your screenplay is the constitution used by everybody in the film ecosystem. I will break that down before I move forward. Your screenplay helps the director to direct very well. It helps the gaffer, the light man, to know what time to light. Am I lighting for day or for night? The props and set man knows what he's going to set. What are critical? Sorry, we are not teaching film. But you must understand. And let me also say this. A big shout out to Praxis Digital Academy. Our session is on for January and February. We'll be resuming next week. At Praxis Digital Academy, we teach you all you need to know about filmmaking. And we take you around the 360-degree, the ecosystem of cinematography. We teach script writing, camera handling, drone piloting, video editing. We teach you light, we teach you sound. And before you leave Praxis, you shoot your first movie. So it is important. We will leave a description for you later on our next session. But the session for January starts next week. I think somebody will reach out to all of you concerning Praxis. So, because all this thing I'm saying is important. You understand the ecosystem of filmmaking. Because if you don't understand it, writing scripts for screenplay is always very difficult. Like I told you, the screenplay is the constitution, is the guiding light, where every other component of the filmmakers uses, it guides them. Like I told you, the director uses the screenplay to know what to direct. The DOP, which is your cameraman, uses the script. At the end of the day, the video editor cannot edit without the script. So that's why you must have a proper screenplay. So what are the basic elements again? Just to remind, I started with number 1, that your screenplay must have a scene ending or slug line.
Slug line.
And what's a scene ending or slug line? It describes where and when and at
The
what
where
time of the day
and
the
what
action
time
or
is
scene
the
is taking place.
extension.
Number 2, your action or description line. It describes the setting. What are the things we are going to see in the setting? How big is the office? How big is the room? How many chairs are there? How many tables are there? Do we have the backdrop of President Bola Tinubu? Do we have the backdrop of Donald Trump? Your action or decision line describes that. Number 3, character. Remember I told you when I said that every story must have a character. Every story must have a character. Now, in bringing your character, in introducing your first character, you do that in the action line. You introduce your character in the action line. And when you are introducing a character for the first time in an action line, you write it in capital letter. You write it in what? Capital letter. Now, over time, I've taught thousands of students on script writing, and I've written so many scripts, and I've also edited so many scripts. I tell people, when you write for the Nigerian environment, you have to define your character very well. I repeat again, when you are writing your character for the first time in an action line, it must be in capital letter, and you describe your character very well. For example, don't just write Mr. John. If you are writing for the Nigerian audience, tell us the surname of Mr. John and give a background or a character depiction, physical description of Mr. John. For example now, why I say Nigerian environment, if you're writing for international audience, Mr. John is Mr. John anyway. But in the Nigerian context, Mr. John cannot be Mr. John. And I'll give you a practical example. Is Mr. John Akpan the same thing as Mr. John Adetayo? Are they the same? I need to answer, please.
No,
Are they
sir.
the same? Huh?
No,
sir.
Why?
Because they have different.
They have
Some
different
names.
last names.
Akpan is more or less from the south. Adetayo is from the southwest, Abi. And probably
Yes.
the asset, maybe you are trying Mr. John Adetayo to be a local Yoruba man. If you don't define it in your screenplay, it can confuse your director. For example, during casting, maybe your script is saying Mr. John Tayo should act like a like a drunkard, a local Yoruba man that speaks average local dialect and you just write Mr. John. If the casting director is a lazy man or a lazy woman, did not read the script very well, you now go and cast a Mr. John Chukwudi that does not have a Yoruba accent. What are you looking for? Trouble.
Confusion.
Confusion, exactly. So I advise every aspirant script writers in the Nigerian context, define your character very well. Is it Igbo? Is it Calabar? Is it Hausa? Now, after you've written the son name, give me a brief physical description of him. Is he tall? Is he short? And give me an age bracket. So I see a lot of people, I edit a lot of script for professional scriptwriter, and I cry. Oh, Mr. John Adetayo, tall, short, and you go ahead. How old is Mr. John Adetayo? Do you want to give your casting director headache? So please, when you write your character first, when you introduce your character first, in the action line, you must give me a full name, you must give me the age limit, and a physical description of the character. So that you help the director, the casting, everybody involved in the film production cycle. Hope that is clear. You can also describe his sentiments, is he outgoing? Is he an extrovert? Just simple. Your character drives your story, remember. So you must define. So when your casting director sees it, he already has a character idea of who he's looking for. Don't make the job of your casting director or director difficult. That's number 3. Number 4, we look at parentheticals. And what are parentheticals? Parentheticals are important in screenplay. And parenthetical tends to describe the mood or gesture of a character at a particular point in time. For example, we start scene 1 with Mr. John smiling. Sorry, I'm no longer using slides, but you definitely see, but you are taking notes. Now we are looking at
Yes.
Parentheticals, and I say parentheticals tends to describe the mood or gesture of a character at a particular point in time. For example, scene 1 starts with Mr. John, and we put parenthetical, smiling. There's no guarantee that Mr. John will smile at the end of scene 1. So that is a parenthetical tends to describe the mood or gesture of a character at a particular point in time, because moods can change. And lastly, number 5, we talk about dialogue. Every character, I say not in most time, must have something to say. We've gone past the era of the 90s where we have script and not screenplay. I've seen a lot of scripts of the 90s. There were no dialogues. A lot of people have to bring dialogue from their head. But we've passed that era now. So your character must have a dialogue, unless your character is deaf and dumb. So those 5 basic elements are important for us to classify your script as screenplay for film or for TV. I'll run through them again. Number 1, your script to qualify for a screenplay must have a scene heading or a slug line. Must have an action or description line. Number 2. 3, must have a character. Number 4, parenthetical. And number 5, dialogue. All this might look strange to some of you. By tomorrow, we'll go deep into the practical aspect of it. And let me just say this ahead of time. There are over 55 screenwriting apps. We have Final Draft, we have Fading. But for everybody to be carried along, I want to advise you, please, go and download Fading to your system. Fading is free, and we'll be using Fading to guide you tomorrow. All these 5 basic elements, we apply them. All the principles of storytelling, we apply them, and we'll write a script tomorrow. So please, you can download Fading, the free version. And if you have Final Draft and Fading already, no problem. But what is most important to all these screenwriting apps is that you must know how to apply the 5 basic elements. We are going to stop here because it's time for question time, and I expect us to have 30 minutes of question time.
So what's the name of the other app? Page in. Okay, final.
Okay.
So this.
A question.
I do have a question. Uh, yes, when we're talking about that, do not leave your audience hanging, do not leave them in suspense. Yes. Like, are there a particular movie, or is there a particular time when you are writing a movie or directing a movie where it's required for you not to, like, that, just like how you left your story hanging? Is there a particular story you are writing that is meant to be like that, or should every story have a complete ending? Yes. Yes. What of those kind of movie? What of those kind of movies? Those kind of movies where it's ended in a suspense way, then they come and write something just to, like, what do you now call that kind of some setting? Okay. Yes.
So that is also acceptable.
Thank you.
Okay. Question. Davidson, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so the genre criticize which genre of script writing.
Genre, film genre. Genre. Drama can criticize the government. You can write romance and criticize the government. You can write comical comedy and criticize the government. But when you write comical comedy and you criticize the government in a very subtle way, it's called a satire. So, you can write historical movie. Okay, how many of you are Jagun Jagun? How many of you have watched Ageshikole? They are historical epic, or they are epical movie that is criticizing the government. So you don't actually have a particular, it depends on the creativity of the writer. Okay, there's a question from YouTube, please. So hold on, please, hold on. So hope I've attended to that. You don't need a genre to criticize the government. My mic. I said, okay. I said, you don't need a particular genre to criticize the government. Basket Mouth did a genre, a comical genre, a comedy genre, and criticized the government. Ageshikole is more or less historical and drama, and yet it's to criticize the government. So you don't need a particular genre to criticize the government. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. YouTube, okay. Go ahead. There's a question from YouTube, okay. Hold on. Somebody's asking a question from YouTube. Let them know. So a question from YouTube. I will read that the question. Okay.
Must a good from YouTube? Must a good screenplay or story have a subplot? That's the question from YouTube.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me now? Hello. Now, why I was muted earlier was that there was a question. Hold on, patience. Hold on. Why I was muted was that there was a question from YouTube. And the question says, can a good story or must a good story has a subplot? Now, we have short films and we have feature film. And I say a good story, every good film, every good screenplay must have a subplot. And your subplot must either aid, support your main story plot or conflict with it. It performs those two functions. So every good story, every good screenplay must have a subplot and a plot twist. Okay, patience, go ahead. Hanging, yes. Okay. Story, okay. Now, I've read the book Theory of Absurdity, but the fact of the matter remains, you must understand the audience you are dealing with. I've watched a lot of lovely Nigerian movies that if they had been simple, the film would have gone viral. But when you want to become too complex, there are issues. So that's a never leave your audience hanging. For every conflict you raise, let there be a resolution. Don't let the audience be asking questions unless you have a plan to do a part 2 or to do a sequel. So never, I repeat again, leave your audience. See, when you write scripts, you can make simple scenarios. Let me say this. Sorry, I'm not promoting any movie here. But the 2 movies that are trending, they made a complex situation, a complex, relatable situation, and wrote a simple story about family. They were not complex about it. Behind the scene over Sabi Auntie. So when you want to become too complex, we are in an audience where we are a community audience where everything is tensed. So you need to tell your story in the simplest possible form. Remember, I told you about simplicity wins. So when you now create a conflict, please remember to resolve it. Going back to the 3-act structure. Is that clear? Okay. There's another question from the YouTube, please. Okay. Okay, patience, go ahead. Okay. Is it a book or a novel? Okay. Okay, better. Okay. Plots, okay. Subplots. Yeah. Are there subplots or main plots? Because you can only have one main plot. You can only one main plot. And so many subplots. So it now depends on what the writer is trying to achieve. But I will keep saying, The more you become complex, the more you become complex, the more you lose your audience. Look at the likes of what was this lady that wrote half of a yellow song? They are very simple in their writing. So simplicity, I repeat again, wins. One main story plot and 2 or 3 subplots. Because for every subplot you create, you must relate it to the main story plot. And for every conflict you create, you have to resolve. You can't leave your readers or the audience hanging unless you have a sequel. So it's always important to resolve every. And Amaka told us something the other time that if you know you can't just go with a black screen. What happens to Mr. A? What happens to Mr. B? It happens a lot of movies. After 10 years, Mr. A was released from prison, and he's not a pastor. We have network issue. Hello? We've lost network connection. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I think we are back. So the most important thing, simplicity wins. One main story plot and few subplots. Because every subplot must lead to your main story plot. It's either it is supporting the main story plot, conflicting with it. It must perform any of those 2 functions. And for every plot twist, you can have 1 or 2 plot twists. You must resolve them. So any other question, please? Okay, Alonze. Alonze, where are you calling? Where are you watching from? Or listening from, please? Abuja, okay. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Genre, okay. You can have more than 2 or 3 at times, but I tell people don't make it more than 3 because you can confuse your audience. You see a drama telling a story of a great grandfather. You watch most of those movies and they take us back to the 19th century or the 18th century. That is historical, being blended in contemporary drama. In contemporary drama, where we have a flashback of historical, you also see comic. You also see romance. But let's say 3 or 4. Don't mix more than 3 or 4 genres together. So you don't confuse your audience. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Okay, Mr. Alozie, go ahead. Yes. Okay. I think the gap is with the writer. Because remember, every story you tell is not for yourself. You are communicating with an audience. And your role is to inform them, educate, and entertain them. If you cannot provide this of the conscience, it means you've not communicated. So the problem, the gap is with the writer. Because if you can't communicate, then what's the essence of writing? Your message must communicate in the simplest form. Okay. Okay. Olua, no, okay, who is online? Okay, let's, go ahead, Mr. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Oluwadami Larry, or what's the name again? Okay, Oluwadami Lara, go ahead. Okay. 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 So dry, boring. Okay. Now, for every script writers, I tell them, don't bore your actors or character with long dialogue. Let the dialogue also be relatable. Let it be our day-to-day conversation. And that's why I challenge all script writers that say, look, please watch other people's work. Go out and listen and observe. So when you are writing, it is all what you've listened to, you observe, that you put into. Make your dialogue be relatable. Let people relate to your dialogue. Let people understand what you're saying. If you are not communicating, if your audience don't understand, then communication has not completed. So most of the time, don't make your dialogue too boring. Let it be relatable. Let there be what I refer to as called as connection. If there's dialogue between two characters, there must be connection, there must be continuity, and there must be collaboration. I don't want to talk because if I don't want to go deep. This is introduction anyway, because we looked at the 3 C's: connection, collaboration, and continuity in dialogue writing. A and B are talking. Okay, I think we have a question from. Let me finish with this first. A and B are talking. There has to be a connection. Oh, let me give a practical example. What is your name? Character. Oh, my name is Johnson. Where are you coming from? Oh, I'm coming from Abule Egba. You could see there's continuity, there's connection, and there's collaboration. Abi? But don't say, what is your name? And you are saying, I'm coming from Abule Egba. Is there connection? Is there connection? No. So when you write, understand all those things. I'm going a bit deep on the 3 C's of dialogue writing. So it is important, based on your question, please don't make the dialogue be too big. Make it relatable. Go out, listen to what people say. Day-to-day languages, day-to-day communication. Like there's nobody you tell now, they don't serve you breakfast. We're able to, because you understand that, oh, serving breakfast you've been given a heartbreak. Make it relatable because you are writing for the Nigerian audience and you must be able to communicate. Hope I've answered your question. So please, hold on, Mr. Louis. We have a question from. Okay, go ahead. Okay, there's a question from. Okay. 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 There's a question from the chat I need to answer. Mr. Ahmed. Hold on, please. I want to. Oh, no, just hold on, ma. Hold on, sir, Mr. Louis. There's a question. Mr. Ahmed says, can an antagonist change to protagonist at the end of the day? You know, somebody talking about the secondary antagonist, primary antagonist. In most cases, no. Antagonists are always antagonists. And protagonists are always protagonists. It's just for you to now say, can the protagonist change to antagonist? No. Unless he's a secondary antagonist. Primary antagonists don't change. Okay, Mr. Louis, go ahead with your question, please. Good afternoon, sir. From Kano State, Mr. Louis, okay, you're welcome, sir. Okay, go ahead. Okay, Okay. No. Number one. An antagonist is also a villain. Let me just so I don't need to go deep. We don't confuse ourselves. An antagonist is also a villain. Now, concerning your question, most of the time, I personally, I don't follow the sequence in the three-act structure. Do you know why? Because pleasing the Nigerian audience is difficult. You agree that Nigerian audience are easily bored. So what I do most of the time is that I extract my starting with a conflict. I extract my beginning with a conflict. And I'll give you an example. In the story I told you, you were around when I told the story, Abby? Mr. Louis, good. Now, if I'm to write, I will start with the conflict, the confrontation stage. Scene 1, I will start with, we see Engineer Rufus tiptoeing. On getting to the door, Engineer Rufus opens the door and shouts, "Ha! Jesus!" And I start my film. Will you watch? Mr. Louis, are you going to watch? Because that's a hook. You did not know what was happening. Hello? Because, but if I started with probably a boring beginning, oh, Nigerians are not patient when it comes to film watching. That's why I advise when you write, start with a hook. Start with a conflict. So, hope you understand that. Okay. So next question, please. Who is that, please? Adeni, okay. Okay, Malade, go ahead. 2 questions, okay. Of course, definitely. Have you watched the movie first? Huh? Okay. Go ahead. Please let us I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Okay, go ahead, please. Okay. Plagiarism. Good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. To comedy, yeah. Mixture, yeah. Mystery, yeah. That is balancing, yeah. Now, first, let me tell you that there's no black and white rule on the number of genre you can put in your story. But I tell you, limit it to 3 or 4. The more genre enters, the more you confuse your audience, and you don't want to confuse your audience. So how you now balance it is a function of how professionally you are. The whole essence, what is the message? Because most of the time, we see lovely stories. They use comedy killer, and that comedy kills the theme and meaning of that movie. So you must learn balancing. You must know when to tone down on the horror, tone down on the comedy, so that the drama and the rom-com can come out better. So you must learn balancing. Know what must come forth, know priorities. So So you don't start with a lot of comical stuff, and a lot of people classify a serious work to be comedy. Now, let me answer your question on Funke Akindele's story. To me, personally, this is a personal opinion. I want to agree with you that, okay, we've seen such before, but do you know, she took it a bit notch. What do I mean by that? Funke, marketing-wise, confused a lot of people with that title. The first people that went to the theater with the notion that we are going to watch the life of people behind the scene, people in the film world, true of us. She deceived a lot of us with that title and a lot. So on getting there, we were blown away. What did she do differently? You say you've agreed to some extent, I want to agree to some extent, but she did a lot of things differently. The film aesthetic she brought in from the props and set that made people believe that, do not let us be spoilers. I mean we should do spoiler. No, I'm not going to do spoiler. But she stepped up her game, the scene. No, Mr. Louis. Go and watch it, because she's aiming to hit 2 billion. And she's almost there, you know. So I'm not going to be, so go and watch it. Remember, if I'm going to mentor majority of you, you are going to watch movies, because we are going to be discussing movies. You cannot say you are a scriptwriter, a storyteller, and you don't watch a movie. So she stepped it up a bit. And that's why I'll just stop there. So you can pick other people's work and say, I have watched movies and picked a scene from other people's work and developed into a feature film. So that's why I advise, watch other people's work. And on a lighter note, if you are looking for the owner of plot twist in storytelling, watch a lot of Indian movies. Bollywood are the fathers and mothers of plot twist. I know a lot of you say yes. So there's a question on YouTube, please. There's a question on chat. Yes. Okay. Mr. Daniel, what? Try and ask the question again. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Second, yes. Okay. Family. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It now depends on your inner creativity. Okay. Now, just hold on. Just to spice up this. What is the difference between? Hello, hold on, please. What's the difference between Bimbo Ademoye's latest movie and Love in Every Word? Okay. It's what? Leaves, okay. Okay. Okay, but don't you see what's his name? I'm going to say, I'm only trying to collaborate what you said. What Mr. Louis said at that time, that we can tell our stories in different ways. Although there's generation over what's his name? what's this major cast that it speaks Igbo very well, another. But you can tell your stories in different way. And I think Amara said it. The character of Bimbo was more extravagant than what Achalugo did. And what they portrayed in Where Love Lives is a bit different from Love in Every World. Although similar storyline here and there, but it's very different. Okay. Okay. And I'm sorry to say this. Bimbo Ademoye's one was more deep because Bimbo Ademoye's had so many subplots that dealt with the issue of ladies going through stores. And yet, that's what it was. More matured. Okay. Issues, okay, good. Okay, let us hear them, Milena. Okay. Okay. Of course. Before, yeah. Men, yeah. Okay. Do not let us go to storytelling because you want to tell that story. This is almost 2 minutes past 1. Don't worry. I don't want, because we need to round up now. Let me quickly attend some of the questions. How many plot twists can a script have without being too much? Somebody please mute his mic, please. Okay, good. How many plot twists can a script have without being too much? I think I've dealt with that. I said, look, don't create so many plot twists where you don't come, because for every plot twist there's a confrontation, there's a conflict, you have to create a resolution. Is there a name for a creative work that contains both fiction and non-fiction work? No, there's no name for. You are either fiction or non-fiction, or you are both together. So one more question so we can round up this class. And I want the feedback from you on what you think we can do better tomorrow and what we've done well today. If there's no question, let us get feedback, please. We need feedback for us to improve, please. What do you think we've done well today? What do you think we've done well today? And what do you think we can do better tomorrow when we go to the practical aspect of it? Hold on. Let us take it one after the other. Hello, decorum of decency, please. Let us take one after the other. So, who wants to start? Compassion, start first, please. Good afternoon. Please speak louder, please. Yeah. Please speak louder. I'm not hearing you. That your mic is better. Better. We can all hear you clearly. Okay. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you, Compassion. I think we'll take that on board tomorrow and we'll be more orderly. So we need feedback. So who is speaking? Adebayo Adekunle, go ahead. Good afternoon. Okay. 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 I like that. I tell you from the men's perspective. Okay. 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 Because of time factor, let me cut you, Mr. Adeba. That's a challenge for you, and that's a challenge I want to take on. Come up with stories like that and work together. So what I want from you now is feedback. What you've done well today, and how you think we can improve for tomorrow's class. Okay. And maybe when we go to the practical tomorrow, then we'll see how to pick it up from there. So any other contribution, remember, tell us what you've done well today and what you think can do better tomorrow. Okay. Alonso. Mr. Louis, okay? Anybody first? Alonso or Mr. Louis? Go ahead, Mr. Alonso. Okay. I think what 10, okay. I think it's 10 to 1. 10 to 1. 10 to 1. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think we can improve better for tomorrow, sir? Hey, Mr. Louis, go ahead. Good afternoon. Okay, Mr. Louis, first we apologize for starting the class late due to some technical issue, and that's why you could see that I've exceeded 1. So as we're allowing your questions and the feedback, it will not be like that tomorrow. And concerning the column, we'll definitely work on that side. We're able to control the input from other people so as it not be rowdy. So, if there's no other question, if there's no other feedback, I think we want to put the class to a halt today. So that, okay, Mr. Davis, who wants to talk? Okay, Mr. Davis, you go ahead. Or Mr. Francis, anyone? If the recording will be possible, that will be communicated to you later by the admin. Boluwatife Deborah, have we passed? Go ahead. Definitely. Now, don't miss title and log line. Okay. Okay. But in your own opinion, hold on, in your own opinion, did you think Over Sabi Auntie as a film title gave out the film? Did you think Over Sabi Auntie as a title gave out the theme of the film? The film probably, oh, Over Sabi Auntie, I know where this film is going to start and end. Exactly. You already know, but you do not know the ending and the plot twist that came into it. Okay, okay. Okay. Of course, definitely. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Okay. I think I understand you now. Understand now. But let me also say this as an addition. Most of the time, most of the film script we write, we are referred to as working title. A lot of titles are changed towards video, towards the editing of the movie, towards post-production. So we normally refer to your early title as working title. Title can also be changed, but log line cannot be changed. So please, we need to round up. We need to round up. We need to round up. I want to thank Mr. Francis, Mr. Bishop. Who wants to say something, please? Because we need to round up now. Let me go ahead. Go ahead. Say something. Mr. Okay. Thank you very much. The slides. The admin will get back to you on that. Let me get back to you. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you who have been here since 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Thank you for joining us for this online class on the principle of storytelling and introduction to script writing. We couldn't have done it if you were not there, because you can't just teach an empty class. Thank you for joining us here, and we say God bless you. See you tomorrow again, and I remain your facilitator, Wale Adebayo, saying see you tomorrow. God bless you all.